Let's see how it goes. I gotta set y'all down for a hot minute. Alright, I think I got this going. Let's see, that's what we're gonna do. As soon as I get it showing here. We've got a light there. Alright, so I must be broadcasting. There we go. No. Alright, I got y'all in here. Let me get this set up here. I'm not paying attention. Good morning. Community. Let me see. Right here. Subscribers. That should be right. Oh. Alright. Let me see how. I'm trying to get this set up to where it's not vertical. I think I got to back out to do that, so I'm not going to do that if that's the case. But for some reason, it's not registering on the other account that I'm live. Alright, let me get y'all mounted up here and I'll figure that out. Turbulence, y'all. Oh, goodness. Daggone. My phone mount is curved. Goodness gracious. There we go. I said my phone is curved, but my mount is straight, and it kept slipping. Let's see. I'm sure y'all got enough turbulence and seasickness right there. Let's take it down where we can see what we're doing. Alright, now, let me sit right here. Oh, goodness gracious. Alright, I hope everybody's having an awesome morning. Put up with my craziness. Let's see, I have my other YouTube account on my phone, and I have it up so I can monitor my chat and everything for the live, but it's acting like I'm broadcasting private or something. It's not showing my live. But I know it's not private because I got y'all out there. Technology, you just gotta love it sometimes. So here we go. No, that's 4 hours ago. Let's do this. Switch accounts. Go back to here. Go to me. That open up? No, it won't open up. This is a mess this morning. Let's go back. Switch accounts. That's the whole point of sitting down in here, so I can have my live, so I can communicate and chat with y'all. That's the whole point of the sitting down in the box. And I gotta get it to load up here. There we go. Gracious, that was a mess. Good morning, Share Bear. Not the angle I want, though. I want this as a regular horizontal, not a vertical. And I started it and went vertical. I cannot rotate this to horizontal once I'm live, can I? I don't want to rotate it. Let's see. I want to rotate it, but I don't want to end the live. I want to get this in my normal view like my videos, because it's got me sideways and that makes it harder to show. Alright, I'm just going to have to go with it this morning and just roll with it. I'm wasting y'all's time. Alright, good morning. Let's see how I do it. I say good morning, good evening, and good afternoon. Welcome back to Grumpy's LaidBak Carvings. But we're in the box. Let's see. I still have a few that I got to sand. Let's see. Those are good. I got to sand that one, and those. I got to do these three on their bottoms. I'm going to round this one off. This is a clip I did yesterday, but I'm going to sand it and round that off like a little ball. Let's see, here we go. We ought to be in camera right there. Yeah, I'm going to round that one off and then just flatten that and polish that out. And then the same thing with that, flatten and polish that out. Let's see, what did we do this morning? I did this one this morning. It's got some spalting in it. I've flattened it, sanded it. I still have to go over it with the Yorkshire, and then the same thing there. I need to go over it with the 1000, 1200, 1500, and then hit it with the Yorkshire on the bottoms, and those will be good to go. Tie clip, do the spoons. But I think what I'm gonna do, I have 4 that I have to glue the spoons. So I think I'm going to turn around and go ahead and mix up the epoxy and get those done. And we'll go from there. Sound like somebody was outside. Oh well, they'll ring the doorbell or the dogs will bark if they are. Gotta switch out to my I can see glasses, then I can read chat and everything a little bit better. There we go. Yes, please hit that like button, subscribe, and you can join the chat and have a good old time with my crazy self. Alright, this is my spoons. I got a ton of spoons. I ordered these by bulk. Let's see, there's like, come this way. There's like 200 of them in there. There's a bunch. Oh, there was 200 in there. I've used quite a few. Let's see. Got them drilled in there. Now see, they a little long for me. My preference, I think they look better when they're shorter, but when you're actually utilizing these things on those dab rigs and whatnot, I guess you need a little bit of length, so you ain't in there with your torch burning stuff. But I'm going to take and trim off probably about an 1/8 inch or so, just to shorten it a little bit. Careful clipping this stuff. I always cup my hand and point it downwards, because when that little piece breaks off, a lot of times it'll go flying across the box. Yeah, I'll get that one trimmed in there like that. That one, yeah, a little bit off of there. There it went. Pow. Woo, gotta move my little heater. Daggone. You know how you stand, oh goodness, you stand next to a fireplace real long, and then you move and bend your legs, and your jeans or something starts scorching you? That's what my little heater was doing just now. I had that thing about 2 foot away from me, and it was getting a little warm. Oh goodness. Yeah, that one bounced back out of the box. Alright, see, those aren't, that don't look too bad. That's a little better. It doesn't look too much. That's the epoxy one we did. Yeah, those look better for me. Hold on, I got one more. Where'd you go? You was hiding. That one almost looks like a roach clip because the way it tapers up. Oh no. That one split when I was drilling it, y'all. I didn't notice that until just now. See, how far does that go down? It goes down in there a good bit. quality control. We're putting that one off to the side. This one is it's not bad. It's just got a little split right there. And the spoon, the material of the spoon is gonna go in past the split. It goes down in there a good bit, but that's still gonna be a little weak. And I don't know how it's gonna look. If I could put super glue in there, but I don't know how the super glue is gonna, if it's gonna soak in. And good morning, Matthew. Hey, thank you for coming back. I don't know if the glue's gonna what's the word I'm looking for? It's gonna darken up, and you're definitely gonna be able to see if I put glue in there, and I don't like that. So what I'll do is this piece I haven't finished it up yet, so I'll try to go back through and remount it a little bit later in the lathe and try to get it as center as I can. And then if I can get a good center mount, I'll bring it down. I'll keep the shape that I got. I'll just chew it back up, and I'll try to come down right here and take it off just under that little split. I don't know, we'll have to see. I'll let that sit there for a while and think about it. It's got some character, and I might just try to glue it and be done to see how it looks, but that's just, I'm funny about that. As like I call it, that quality control. If it don't look right, you know, I don't want to put it out there. If I think it's going to break, I dang sure don't want to put it out there, because that's just it. I don't want to be known as the guy that sells the cheap clips. I want my stuff to be good. I don't want to put junk out there. Alright, let's go with this one. Alright, we still got 5 of these to epoxy up, which will work out good because I'm mixing up some, this is old. It wasn't as yellow as that when I first got it. But this is just a JV weld clear epoxy plastic mix, whatever you want to call it. I just put a little bit of that in a little cap and mix it up, and then use that to set them spoons in there. That seems to be bonding better than the UV epoxy. UV epoxy is quicker, but this here, I'll mix this up, let it sit, and just push them off to the side, and then later tonight or this afternoon I'll come back and finish polishing the bases of them off. But yeah, I still got to sand that one down flat. Alright, where's my little cap? I got me a little bottle cap. And then that's what I do, just a little cheesy. I daggone reuse everything, and so I'll mix my epoxy in that and then throw that away when I'm done. Oh, excuse me. Oh, where's my mixers? I am nervous and excited for tomorrow. I know y'all, anybody that's new, I've been babbling for a little while. I got an awesome experience, an awesome chance to set up a table and sell some of my goods. I've never done that before. I've never had a craft show or anything like that with any of my carvings. I did set up a little table at a yard sale, about a year or so ago. And my wife and the neighbor were having a little yard sale. And I said, I'm going to try to sell some of my stuff. But, you know, that wasn't that bad. There wasn't that many people that come by. And then I had my wife and everybody right there that I knew, so I was comfortable. Going where tomorrow is Planet 13 medical cannabis dispensary here in the area. And like I said, when I go and pick up I call it my medicine. And a lot of people say, it's not medicine, it's weed, it's this, it's that. Well, it's my medicine. You know, I don't do opioids or pain medication or anything like that no more. I do blood pressure and vitamin D and 1 gabapentin at night before bed. That's the only pharmaceuticals I do. I do not take aspirin, Advil, Tylenol. I don't take any of that no more. So like I said, it's the medical. That's my medicine. So yeah, I'm gonna call it my medicine because it's my medicine. When I go babble. When I go into those places, I wear a lanyard around my neck that's got a little wooden puck that holds a bunch of my clips. Most of the time I try to squirm all of them on there just because I don't want to miss the opportunity of somebody not seeing something they want, you know. So I try to carry them all on there. A daggum thing weighs a couple of pounds, but I walked in there one day and they saw what I had and started talking to me about it. And then that dispensary, they do a lot of community events and stuff. And it's Planet 13 dispensary, so the 13th of every month they have a little support local vendor deal. Um, they let you go out there and set up, and they don't charge a setup fee or anything like that. It's gonna be fun. I hope we're dang sure gonna try. Ooh, this stuff is cold and thick. Oh, I mean, this stuff don't want to squeeze out the tubes. It's cold. I didn't think about that. It's not gonna take a lot though. But the other dispensary that's been in the area for a long time, I wear my clips up in there every time I go in and get my stuff there. That's how I sell my clips. When I tried doing them on would post them on Facebook and the cannabis shop links and pages and stuff for a while, but I don't. That's too much. I don't know how to say it. It gets overwhelming when I start posting like that and I start getting a bunch of responses, because a lot of it is just people trolling or something. Say, oh, I want this, and then they just bug you for a month of Sundays wanting something and never commit. And so yeah, I quit posting on the social medias that way, and I just word of mouth. And then I have little business cards. I pass them out when I go in because everybody sees them and always likes them. Oh, they're cool, and so I'll give you a card. But to be honest, I've passed out so many cards and so many people saying, oh yeah, I don't have no money right now, but I'll get up with you, and I never hear nothing from nobody. But I'm still gonna pass out them cards because you never know. But yeah, they invited me to come up there and set up, so that's going to be an experience. I'm hoping it all goes positive. Sounds like it's going to be awesome. They seem to be pretty chill up there, and what's the word? Community oriented for sure. That's what I thought was neat. Just throwing up the tables and then no charge or nothing like that. And then the 13th of every month is they do that every 13th, and told me that I would be more than welcome to come up to all of them if I wanted to. And then there's a few of their dispensaries that are not super close, but one is close, and then this one is really close. But I think there's like 3 in the area that I could kind of rotate between, because I will be more comfortable, I guess, that kind of crowd versus, I guess, a craft show or something. I guess I could say it'd be my kind of people at that kind of a crowd. Craft shows, you just have a wide mix of people, and so not everybody's into the 420 stuff. And then, like I said, I don't think I have enough stock of my other carvings and whatnot. So with this setup, I'm allowed to bring all my stuff. Like I said, I could bring my carvings, my boards, everything. So that's gonna work out pretty cool. I'm kind of lost on how to price my stuff though, because I don't want sticker shock, but I don't want to give it away. My roach clips, I'm keeping them at that price. In town, when I'm face to face, I do them at 20, 25, and then off of the computer or something, if somebody is interested in them, I go 40, and that covers the shipping and everything. When I do it at 40, that's that shipping, tracking number, whole 9 yards. And bubble wrap the snot out of everything, so yeah. Works out good. Now see, I don't know if I was in camera doing that, y'all. I'm sorry. This vertical stuff, I need to get myself switched. That's where I saw on the YouTube where they're supposed to be setting it up now to where you can stream both vertical and horizontal at the same time using just YouTube. But I think that's only for the PC side of it right now, and that's where I got to get my camera set up to where I can stream that way. I got it somewhat set up. I just got to get I got to get OBS set up all the way, because once I start using my computer to stream, I want to do how Perry does his, and I want to have my music playing in the background because I love my music. I don't know how many people get into it, but I feel my music's a big part of my channel because I don't know, I put a lot of time in it. Heck, I sit out here and end up jamming and not paying attention to what the heck I'm doing half the time, because I'm sitting there being goofy old grumpy, and I start editing and making songs. Next thing you know, I've done went through half my playlist, and I'm like, you goofy, you supposed to be making songs for a video, not jamming out. And I just get in here and start jamming, and I squirrel out. That's me. I'm like with my computer during the day, I'll have 5 or 6 windows open, videos going, 2 or 3 lives going, and my goofy butt's bouncing back and forth trying to communicate and talk in the lives and socialize with everybody, and yeah, I'm just all over the place. But if I don't do that, my goofy butt just sits here and has a pity party and dwells on what I can and can't do no more, and then don't end up doing a daggum thing. So I spread out and keep myself super busy. Keeps my head busy, I guess. And then my damn head's like my head's like a ping pong ball anyway, and I just bounce all over the place up there anyhow. So, all right. Now, I don't know if y'all can see what I'm putting just a little bit of that epoxy on the hole, and then it's real thick, so it's not like going down in there, and then I'll put some around the spoon itself, and then slip it down in there, pull it back out, and it's smearing it around and spreading it down in there good. Let's see, because yeah, them two are done good, and it's 5-minute epoxy, but for it to cure completely, it's going to take a while, especially with it being cold. So I'll let them sit back and cure, and then once they're good and straight, hey, good morning, Robert. Yes, sir, squirrel. I squirrel so bad. I'm going to make me a squirrel, too, for my videos. I made one with AI and put him on there, but he didn't look It was funny. I told AI I wanted a crazy, grumpy old squirrel, stoned to the bone, sitting on a rock. And it made all that, but the crazy old squirrel looked like he was doing a little something crazy to the rock. And I was like, no, I can't put that in my videos. I think I put it in one video before I realized it and seen how it looked. And it's like, oh no, I can't leave that. I took that back out. But yeah, squirrel, that's me. I know I'm trying to hurry up. This little bit of epoxy's trying to set up down here. But yep, the event, that's tomorrow. I'm a nervous wreck. I hope it goes good. Oh, come on. Oh, no. Okay. Thought that was setting up already, and I couldn't get the spoon in there. But yeah, I twirl it around in there and kind of move it in and out, and that spreads that epoxy around. And then if you do it just right and it's not runny enough, it'll mound up for you, and it looks clean. That's what I try to get. I try to keep everything as clean looking as I can. Shit, I hope. The bad thing about it is I truly want this to be something good. I truly want, yeah, everybody says, oh no, I'm not after the money, not after the money. Well, daggum, I'm not after the money. This is truly a therapeutic thing for me, but daggum, I'm not gonna lie, Grumpy's broke ass could use the money. And so, yeah, I gotta get a paper towel, y'all. But, paper towel, alcohol. But yeah, the money I make off of this is definitely coming back into my channel. I want to, well, how did I put it? I'm nervous as all get out, and then the only way I think I'm gonna be able to even try to overcome it or bullcrap my way to thinking I've overcome it is to grab this bull and ride it like there ain't no tomorrow. And so I want to go through the I think I'm gonna go through Sticker Mule and see what they have, but I want to get my sticker put off on like a banner. Um, I have my big grumpy sticker on a either like a banner and have it on the tablecloth. No, that's too thick. I can't use that no more. Have it on a banner or like behind me. You know, hey, good morning, Knuckles. I keep getting all over the place. Have my sticker on a banner like a flag, you know, and have that hung up behind me, you know, on the canopy from, you know, the two corners of the canopy to make like a backdrop, or uh like a tablecloth or something for my table. But yeah, I want that set up good, you know, so that's gonna be a little bit of money. um I want to get me like a zip up hoodie. A zip up hoodie is what I'm looking for, but I cannot find anything. I can't even find a regular pullover. I want 3X or bigger. You know, 3X would be nice. That way I wash it, dry it a few times. It's not going to shrink up on me too bad. And then I have one t-shirt that I made up for myself through Sticker Mule. I had a email promo for like 14 bucks, and that's an awesome shirt. I wear it to the dispensary, so I'm gonna wear that. I'd like to have a couple more made. You know, it'd be cool to have some little grumpy merch or something like that if somebody wanted to buy one. But right now, it's just I gotta see crawl before I can walk, and I'm barely crawling. So, but that's my plans. That's what I want to do. I can't do nothing else to make no daggone money, and my crazy butt can't deal with people on the sites to try to sell my stuff that way, so that would be about the only way I could do it. Babble, babble. I'm looking for another bottle cap. I thought I had 2 or 3 of them right there. I got them back behind me, though. Let me see. I've been babbling and ain't been looking. You could get a player being another icons. And see, that's just it. With my songs and everything, I just need a good quality Bluetooth setup that I can link my phone and all to, and I could be jamming grumpy tunes in the background. I have, whew, I got over 600 songs I've got made up, and it all bounced between me spinning roach clips and epoxy and stuff like that. Oh yeah, I got some tunes. That's my next daggum step. If I could ever get myself set, because see, I function good off of a routine and schedule. The sooner I can get myself set up on a good routine and schedule, it's just everything flows better. And doing what I've been doing with my channel and following everybody and meeting all these new people and finding all these new channels, it's hard as heck to get a routine set up and going, because there's just so much to do. And then going live and stuff like that, that's got me even messed up a little bit more just on my normal routine on doing my regular videos. It's like I normally have my videos edited and uploaded to YouTube and scheduled like a week or 2 ahead of time. I'll get in a routine and get 3 or 4 videos uploaded and scheduled where I can sit back and do challenges and stuff like that. And I hadn't been able to do that. That's like Wowie's Watcher Challenge. I still haven't started that. I got a piece sketched out and a million ideas in my head, but I procrastinate and then do a million other things, and it's like, I'll be in there at the last minute working on that thing, stressing out. But then, you know, that's how I roll. Grumpy's crazy. Alright, this one, I'm going to shorten that one down a little bit too. Alright, remember when y'all clip these little things, watch your eyeballs. That thing is violent. Pow! Goes bouncing all over. It's like shrapnel. I don't know where it went. It's in the corner right there somewhere. Awesome. That'll work right there. Ooh, no, that won't work. That spoon, that's jagged feeling right there. Don't like that. I'll throw that one away. I don't want somebody to cut themselves with it. There you go, that one's better. A little bit. Oh, goodness. Alright, that one works. So what do we got left to glue? That one, these two right here. Alright. This one was awesome. I got 2 blanks with that curing up. It should be ready to do. I want to do those on my regular weekly video. I might do one on the video and one on the live. Alright, I hope this stuff bonds up good. You better watch out. You carving in your lap with one of them daggum. I don't know what you talking about, but I just saw that last comment. I know you carving, you shop in some sweatpants and stuff sometimes. You're gonna have you that daggum extreme cut saw burr on one of them damn things, and it's gonna run off of that tool and catch your lap. I'm just telling you, you better be careful. Want to get one of them leather woodworking aprons or something, cover your lap. Let's go over heck to go to the VA doctor and say, Doc, I got a problem here. I was like, what in the heck did you do? You wouldn't believe me if I told you. I'm sorry. Alright, I'm trying to get some more of this epoxy squeezed off into this little cap. That's the only way, I've broken like 2 or 3 of my flex shafts on my Dremel, that inner shaft, and that's how I broke mine, was sitting out back on my back porch. I have a little setup made that my Dremel will hang from, so I go outside and carve every now and then, and I hold the piece in my lap, and I had a big old round piece and was trying to remove a lot of wood, so I was just rolling off the edge of it, trying to round it over, and run right off the edge of the wood, right onto my britches, and that daggum burr wrapped up in my pants and snapped every time. Too small of a target time. But yeah, sir, that's what when people say they want to wear gloves carving, I don't recommend it with the powder carving, because that burr is gonna wrap up in that glove, and it's gonna get nasty if you don't have a foot pedal to turn it off with real fast. That's one thing, I keep a foot pedal on my stuff. Now when I go outside, no foot pedal. That's why I snapped the shafts. It's run off the piece and hit my pants and wrapped up and broke before I could turn the machine off. But when I'm carving in here, I have it all hooked to foot pedals. Let's see. Sorry, I thought I was in camera. I'm just mixing up this 5-minute epoxy right here real quick. I have some of the carpal tunnel gloves, because my wrist to get to my left wrist bothers me the most when it starts acting up. I mean, it bothers me bad. I can't hardly. I'm bad about using my arms and my upper body to get up and down because of my back. So when I put my hand down to push myself up, oh my goodness, I'll get about halfway up, and then I call them gremlins, but that gremlin will stick me in my wrist right there. I'll fall right back down. I say, ouch. Yes, I hate that. But yeah, I wear them every now and then. Need to wear it more often, but then shoot, I need to get a few of them because carving and stuff out here, that stuff gets so dirty. I have corporal tunnel. Wow. Is it gonna be one to the point to where, heck, getting ahead of myself. Corporal tunnel, they can do surgery to reduce some of them issues. Is it going to be something that once your hand heals up all the way, they'll be able to maybe go back and do a surgery to correct it? All right, I'm trying to get some epoxy to go down in that little hole there. I don't trust doctors no more. I've lost all my faith and trust in doctors. Let's see. I'm hoping once this one. There you go. There you go. Yeah, that might be better there. Yeah, see, that's basically that's what the doctors told me when I was younger. That's basically all arthritis is just trauma to your joints. Some people experience it a little more, a little sooner, a little heavier, but that was like with my back. As I said, I've been dealing with my back issues since my early 20s, and that's what they told me was. Let's see. Was that it was basically just onset arthritis from early trauma. And then I have degenerative disc disease in my lower back real bad. And I said in my early 20s, I was 24. In my early 20s, we went to the neurologist. He told me that my back looked like the back of a 50-year-old, and I was only in my 20s. And I said, well, can I get it fused? Can I do this? And they didn't want to fuse anything. Said I was too young for that, and that all I needed to do was learn my limitations. And I'm sorry, like I said before, working construction and stuff like that, you can't really go in there with limitations. Not unless you like running a crew or something. And I wasn't fortunate enough to have that scenario. And then when I did get that opportunity, it wasn't a good crew to work with, and I didn't want the responsibility of running them yahoos. Just say half of them would melt the bottom of a cup out if they ever had to take a test. So I didn't want to be responsible for that. Ooh. Alright, we gotta get this in here before it sets up on me. And I need more of the epoxy spoon bases. I have to get some more molds set up for that. It's gotten a little chilly out here, so my epoxy is getting thicker sitting out here, so I got to move it inside and set up inside one night to do all my mixing and pouring, and then put it in a pressure pot out here and let it cure. I gotta put it, basically I gotta get the jugs of epoxy room temperature inside. I got more sticky stuff on my fingers. But get it room temperature inside, and then pour what I'm gonna mix into my 2 cups, my A and my B, and then put that in a warm water bath, and then let that get warm before I mix the 2 together. That way it'll mix better, and all my pigments and stuff will mix up into it better. I think if I try to do it out here, it's gonna be a mess. Last time I did This batch right here, I mixed out here, and it was a little cooler. It wasn't as cold as it is now, and it took forever for the epoxy to get to temperature. And so I'm gonna go ahead and do it inside on the next run. That way I don't waste anything. Because this stuff heck, I use the cheap epoxy, and the cheap stuff's too expensive to waste. There you go, Matthew. That's why I wouldn't. They didn't do nothing for me when I was younger. Because in my 20s, I already was showing signs of degenerative disc disease in my spine down there. And so they said no, they won't fuse it, because it's just, if when they do fuse, what they fuse to is just gonna crumble up. They said it's how, I don't remember how he described it, but it basically, I'm like you, they wouldn't fuse it. I've had a disectomy down there. That's my problem with my back. I was working construction. I started off digging ditches for plumbing for a little while. That wasn't bad. I didn't hurt myself doing that. I was still young and crazy then. And then went to framing houses. I've fallen off a few roofs, framing houses, but when I did, luckily where we were at was like a beach. It was Interiority Point, pretty much out here in towards Orange Beach, kind of. And so it was real sandy everywhere. So the foundation of the house was built up on clay, but 2 or 3 foot away from it was soft sand. And the peak of the roofs was about 12 foot. So it was about a 12-foot drop from the roof to the sand. And if you're rolling off the roof or sliding off the roof, you kind of give yourself a shove right there at the end. And I always self-medicated, so I had to walk everything off. So I learned how to tuck and roll with stuff a lot. And so I've fallen a few times doing that, and I had one bad fall that I come down and landed on my right side and smacked my shoulder and my elbow. But again, had to walk all that mess off. And then as I got older, I went into the heavy equipment and asphalt and everything. And so, I'm shoveling heavy asphalt, shoveling wet concrete. I don't know if anybody's ever played with that stuff in the construction field, but that's heavy. Concrete is nasty on a shovel. You get your shovel full and try to toss it 2 foot away from you, and it all sticks to the shovel, and you go 4 foot away from it. Yeah, it's hard to explain, but that really helped mess my back up. And then just ragged equipment. We had old wore out equipment, and that beat the heck out of me for years. And then my last 6 months of working where I was at, they put me on light duty, because I told them, I was like, look, y'all, I skipped the spot. I was working at that place for about 10 years. I started out green. I run a few pieces of equipment, but not much. And then I learned everything they had, the graders, the asphalt machines, and all that. And then at the end, I was the guy driving the asphalt machine, pushing the trucks and everything, but no more shoveling. And so when I went to quit, nobody knew how to run that machine, so I had to tell the boss man in the company I wasn't going to leave them hanging. I was like, hey, look, y'all know that my back's been getting worse. It's been getting worse. I have to go in for surgery. I have to quit this place and go have surgery done, period. And so I give them a few months so I could help train a guy to learn how to do what I was doing. And they put me on light duty then and had me running an old wore out bulldozer, and that just beat the heck out of my back. And that's where my issue is down there in my very low lower lumbar, just a few discs up off my butt. And but I had a permanent impression on my spinal canal. They first wanted my surgery in 2009. And I was like, I can't quit working, y'all. I gotta keep doing what I'm doing. You gonna pay my power bill, blah blah blah, and I kept on doing it. And then finally 2011, I couldn't hardly walk no more. I had to have the surgery on my back. And what they did was the discs was bulging and squeezing so bad and pushing against my nerves that basically your spinal canal is like a straw full of daggum tiny little hairs, and that's all your nerves. And it was squeezing on that straw pretty much when the disc was bulging and all. And then they went through and removed the bulge. They did a lower discectomy, removed all the bad disc, cut all that out. But at that point, once they took that off of the spinal canal, it was too late. The disc had been bulging against the spinal canal so long that once they removed it, I still have a permanent impression against my spinal canal where those nerves stay pinched up. And so that's my chronic pain. You know, that's where I fight all my pain. And then the longer I'm up on my feet, it's like the more, I guess, swelling I get in that area, and then the gremlins start sticking me and stabbing me. I have more I guess nerve spasms where I get the sharp pains in my back, you know. And so, yeah, I mean, that's where I'm at, you know. And then the ragged, broke down equipment that I always ran, half of it never had mirrors or nothing like that. So I would have my head turned real hard and my back and all twisted real hard while I'm flying backwards on these big tractors, clearing land or something like that, hitting these bumps and jarring and banging and booming. And I guess that and dumb stuff when I was a kid messed my neck up. I was one of them dumb yahoos partying in the woods, getting drunk at night, having a good old time at a bonfire, and then it's time to go home. Well, I'm drunk, I can't drive. Well, let's go jump in the creek, we'll sober up. So my dumb self jumps in the creek head first, boom, about broke my damn neck. I think that and a little more trauma ended to why I had to get my neck fused, because I got 3, 4, and 5 interior snot fused from the front on my neck, you know. So yeah, Grumpy's a big old falling apart mess, but hey, I'm still here. I can still walk, I can still do it. So I complain, but I'm grateful that I wake up and can still move. That's half of what got Grumpy batshit crazy too, I guess. Alright, those are all drying. I have to let those be and let those dry up. Sounds like you need a big hug. You don't know the half of it, my man. Oh, that's why I'm taking this YouTube and these clips and these events, and I'm grabbing onto it and I'm going with it, because that's yeah. Let's see how many of them I got. 1, 2, 3. I mean, it sucks, but I mean, I'm learning I can't sit back and do nothing and just have a pity party, because then that just keeps me in a bad spot in my head. And let me tell you, you don't want to get up in my head. I got doors that don't need to be opened. I got doors I can't close. Yeah, but sitting here having these crazy pity parties, that don't help nothing. That's why I'm so grateful for finding Carving Fusion and all that when I did, as it got me out of my pity parties to a degree. And then there's so many people in the community. It is wild. Excuse me. Goodness. Yeah, chicken bone in that one. But so many people in the community I can relate to in one way or another, and that helps me. It's like, yeah, I'm not alone. I'm not the only one that deals with this. And then at that aspect of looking at it, it's like, you fool, quit having a pity party. You know, you're not the only one that deals with this. Look at everybody else dealing with this. Life's not over, you know. It's what you make it, you know. It might suck, it might hurt, but you got to do something, you know. And that's like crafting or clip making, whatever you want to call it. It hurts, but at the same time, I'm gonna hurt just sitting here doing nothing, you know. And I can do this and at least zone out in my work and be happy, or get all the good get all the good comments and the what is it, dopamine rush or whatever you want to call it from just everything, it's just, yeah, it gets me out of a bad spot. And then heck, sometimes it puts me in a bad spot because I'll want to do something and realize, you're broke, you can't do that no more. What you think, and you ain't got no business doing that, but you go do it anyway, and then it's like, shit, here comes the pity party, so it's an up and down, it's a mental roller coaster, but I mean, that's life. We're human, nobody's perfect. We all have our issues, we all have our demons, so it is what it is. But I am very grateful for the carving community, and very grateful I found it when I did, because yeah, it brought me out of a dark place. That's why I love Jordy's I love Jordy's channel. I love his energy. He's so damn real. Ain't nothing fake about nothing, and that's just awesome. There's not a lot of that out there. And then because of his channel, the people I've met and found, and then the other channels I've found, and then I know Jordy don't like to take responsibility for it, but he created a community. I mean, he always gets in there and says he's not down for that family and that tribe talk and this and that, but I'm sorry, Jordy Johnson created that family and that tribe, whether he wants to admit it or not. Without him, we would not have connected the way we did, so that's where you get that hashtag, it's all Jordy's fault. Yes, sir. And then Wowie's workshop, love that man, love his energy. I feel like we supposed to be brothers or something. I would love to be able to hit the lottery and get the heck on out of this place and move on up to Canada. I would love it. And then again, like I said, it's just everybody, we all relate. We have our pain, we have our traumas, we have our PTSDs. I mean, in some form or fashion, so made in pain and all that good stuff. Say we all batshit crazy on our own way. Alright, I think I got that one crimped on there good enough. I'm going to try to wrap that and see how we go. Let me make sure I got my puller here. And I want to get my live set up to where I'm not daggum vertical in my box. I'd rather be horizontal when I'm in my box. I don't care if I get more views vertical. This part needs to be horizontal. But then if they got their stuff situated, what I got off course earlier, I think, but I saw a deal where YouTube is supposed to be setting up where you can stream vertical and horizontal at the same time with the same stream. They have just a dual setting. You set it there before you go to streaming or whatever. 1, 2, 3. But I think it's only on the computer. I haven't seen it. That's cool too. That's what I like. Yes. The YouTube brings so many people from so many different areas together. You walking on the street around here, and half the people that you communicate with on YouTube, you would never even think to communicate with them in real life. Yes, but yeah, YouTube brings so many people together. And then with being able to translate, hitting that little translate button in the chats too, that helps with that language barrier and brings, yeah, it's awesome. Alright, y'all, I'm doing my normal thing. I'm holding that tail down and wrapping around. See, I did it good to now. I shouldn't have to cut or burn that. I should be able to keep wrapping and just tie that on down as I wrap. I need to get a bigger screen. I would talk to everyone. See, I've always been I say it. I've always lacked that self-confidence. I've always felt, I don't know, I've always felt like the ugly duckling, all that mess. You know, I always got picked on when I was little and stuff. So it's just that self-esteem and that confidence has always been down. And then I I'm bad at trying to read the room and read everybody, so I will misinterpret it, body language and stuff sometimes. You know, I'll look at somebody just the way they're holding themselves, and they might have an aggressive posture, and so it's like, yeah, you know, I'm not going to speak to them, and that might be the nicest person you ever saw or would ever meet, and it's just the way they hold themselves. But then on YouTube, you don't have that. You can't see that. You just see a chat, and you're like, oh, hey, how you doing? I'm so and so, and then boom, it's like you start talking, and it's like I feel like I know y'all better than I know people in real life half the time, you know, and it's weird. And then yeah, I just, with my anxieties and my insecurities, I keep to myself and don't like talking to folks, and that's where I say I don't like people. I like people, but I don't trusting people. It's hard for me to put my trust into people. And I guess I could say it that way. This one is a roach clip. I'm sorry. Let me see. Am I on camera a little bit? Okay, this is roach clips. I'm tying my roach clip right there. And then the other pieces that I did, those are dab spoons for concentrate for recreational or medical marijuana. All mine's medical, but your joints that you hold or burn, you know, hold them with a roach clip. It won't make your fingers stinky. Females, this is a good marketing scheme for the ladies that do those pretty fancy acrylic nails. You don't want to hold a joint and burn your nails, so hey, buy a roach clip. You know, stuff like that. But just 420 accessories. There you go. Trying to cover that clip up a little bit better. It still had an open spot. Alright. When I was younger, I was a little more outgoing, but still, I didn't go initiate the conversations or nothing like that. I had my buddy, he was way more outgoing than I was, and he did all that. And like when you got the group of guys walking the mall trying to meet the girls or something like that, and when you kids, everybody does that stupid stuff. Well, I did that stupid stuff, but my dumb self would just walk around, and I'm too damn nervous and scared to go talk to the girls. But he'd go in there and he'd initiate that stuff. It's, come on, let's go talk to him. I said, no, I ain't doing it. Next thing you know, he's there talking. I said, shit, I guess I am talking. But yeah, I've always had that bashful nature, I guess. So see, there you go, Robert. I could be a few of the dwarfs. I could be grumpy, I could be dopey, I could be bashful. Yeah. Alright, trying to concentrate here so I can cover that wrap up better. It'd be a nice collection for sure. Here's my grumpy. I got my grumpy right here. There we go. There you go, y'all. Robert's talking about his 420 pipes. I got one right here I can show y'all. I keep a pipe cleaner wrapped around it so I can keep it hung up when I'm not using it. But there's his little nine hole glass bowls. And then it pops out. It's not glued in or nothing. That way you can clean it out. And then you just run your little pipe cleaner through there if it resins up on you. But I keep mine clean. Mine's not going to resin up and get all gooky. I cannot stand a pipe that's all dirty and gooky. But it's a piece of olive burl. Real cool. I love the way the wood is. And then boom, he did the grumpy with the acrylic paint and all on there, which is awesome. And then like I said, I use this and I love that picture. So when I got it from Robert, I took my UV epoxy. That's why it's got a shine on there. I took my UV epoxy and I'm just what's painted. You know, nothing else. I went around it with the UV and then sealed it so it would protect the picture. But yes, sir, I love that. That is just awesome. Oh, plastic. You don't need plastic. They're cheaper and easier when you knock them over and they don't, you know. But, oh, you got to get you a nice bone. I got a glass one, but it's just, I'm real, I don't like stinky bone water or nothing like that. So I'm real crazy about keeping them clean. And I'll use it, rinse it out, wash it, clean. That water's got to stay clean. I cannot stand old stinky bone water. Alright, I'm holding on my tension so nothing loosens up. I'm pulling that through right there. There we go. See, this takes me longer when I'm babbling. Alright, I'm going to cut that off. I want to cut, let's see, I'm on camera, yeah. That's my wrap. Cut that tail shorter than your wrap, because when you pull your puller through, it's going to pull that tail all the way through with it. So you want that shorter so it stays hidden. There we go. And then, oh, that's tight. I got it through there. That's why I got to wrap up on a pencil. That stuff will get my fingers and cut me if I ain't careful. Alright, now that's done. That's not coming off. And what I'll do is go back and super glue that. I'm not going to do that just yet because I don't want super glue floating around. But I'll glue those threads down and that'll seal the thread and all that good mess. I know it. But see, now there's hold on, trying to find my smoothie. There's some of those glass pipes and bongs that are unbreakable, they say. Yeah, you can drop them, slam them. I've seen a couple of Facebook videos where guys out in the parking lot and he takes it looks to be about 2 foot, nice thick glass bong, and he tosses that thing about 20 foot up in the air and it just bounces off the ground a few times. And I'm like, woo-wee. Good morning, Miss Daisy. Those are expensive, but yeah, that would be what you'd get. I have one that's glass like that, but I'm sure if I was to drop it, it would shatter. I said I don't use mine that often. Where's it at? It's right. I just cleaned it. I keep a top over it, so a cup over it, so it don't get dusty. This is my glass one. I keep it cleaned out. It's not even stained. That's just the color of the glass. But it's got the glass bowl and the little bitty blue bloop for it. But yeah, that's mine. Looks like a little flower vase almost. I got that, my glass pipe, and then my Robert pipe, and then I got desktop vaporizer. The desktop vaporizer is what I need to utilize more. It takes a little more time, I guess, to set all that up, because you got to set it up, get your stuff ready, get it in there, get it up to temperature, and then use it. And yeah, it's just more to it. It's a healthier route, and you even get more benefits from the medicine or whatnot, because you're not combusting and burning it all away. When you do that vaporizer, it heats it all up to the temperatures that you need to go through and releases everything the proper way. but let's see. Let me get my clip ready before I cut my thread. I thought I watered one out. Right. I saw on a few sites where somebody was making. I think it was on the Kindred. It's either Kindred Spirits or Just Carve. Somebody was making a wooden bone, and they look all cool and everything, but I wouldn't use water on a wooden bone. I don't think. I think that's just going to create a mess. Would try to make it and put like some type of glass insert or something. Yes, I see people turn vases and stuff like the little insert Wowie's wanting to do with his piece that he's carving. Put that little glass insert in there and drill and tap that out, and then slip that in there, and then put the stem from your piping all in there. That might work out better, but just a straight wooden one and water, it just doesn't seem to mix good for me. Yeah, this is a little thick. And I like this wood. It's crepe myrtle here. This is pretty awesome. And like I said, Florida, in my little area, we got crepe myrtle every dang where. You just drive down the road when spring starts coming and you see piles of it cut, laying, waiting for people to pick it up for the trash. I know this piece, the moisture content, everything is just spot on perfect. We got a moisture meter somewhere. I need to find it. Yes, it's awesome. That's what all these pieces are. All these pieces that I was doing this morning is all crepe myrtle. I got a big old piece of it. I have a big tree that grows right against the house towards our back window and our air conditioning, and so I keep it cut down. It's just a big old stump. I don't kill it completely because it's right against the house, and I know the roots and all that's going underneath the foundation and whatnot. So if I kill it, it's just going to be another spot for the foundation to sink and settle. So I just keep it cut back so it don't beat on the roof or anything like that. But it don't have any big enough limbs no more to use like this. But there was a piece off the side that I got. That's where this came from. It's been sitting out in my wood pile for about a year and a half drying, so it's perfectly dry. Yeah, it's like that here too. I mean, you go to Walmart, look in a Walmart parking lot around here, every daggum tree you see is a crepe myrtle, and then every year you go to a Walmart parking lot and they've got them things cut down to 8 foot high, and so there's piles of it everywhere. Hey, good morning, Mike. There's piles of it everywhere. So that's like for this. And yeah, somebody had brought it up about a year or so ago at the dispensary, talking about they used it for walking sticks. And so I had been looking for a big piece. That's why I had this sitting off drying, because that's what I was going to use it for. And then when I cut a small piece to turn the other day and seen how good it turns, because I like the way it turns. I like the way it cleans up. It's awesome for sure. Okay, I got the clip hooked onto that one. Let's wrap it and get it done. But yeah, I got probably about 2 foot of some smaller stuff that I can use for clips, and then about a foot or so left of the thicker stuff that'll work better for the spoons. And then I have about 3 foot of some that's got some good size to it, and I'm gonna try to use that, I believe, for to do some snowmen and some trees. I started doing that last year towards Christmas, was spinning a few snowmen and stuff, making little ornaments, and I want to get back into that and make a few sets this year too. Try to sell them this year. I didn't try to sell any last year. I just spun them and then give them away. and gave some to my mom, some to my daughter. I made some out of oak and pecan last year. I got some nice sized pecan. Oh, there goes the dirt bike dope dealer. I'm sorry. That's what I call that boy. Every time he comes through here, I know he ain't up to no damn good. Man, that's some of our characters that we got around here. He leaves me alone, I'll leave him alone. Rhymer. Timer, hey cat. Say it is Rhymer PT. Robert. Now I'm trying to build up the gap right there between the clip and the wood, so that'll be a little smoother. Better start taking care of that dang foot. We're gonna call you Hopalong. How is your foot doing? Oh, I had my coffee cup this morning, y'all. Try not to spill it. Tilt it back. World's best grumpy. Stubby Peters. That'll work too. Alright, y'all, I'm gonna wrap the puller up on here. Again, y'all don't wrap this too tight. You wrap this too tight, you're gonna be in for a little mess. Can overcome and fix it, but because it's just a wrap, it's not gonna be the end of the world. But if it breaks, that's what you'll have to do, is go back and re-wrap it, because you'll be too short to wrap it properly. Alright. Wrap back up here. I gotta find me one of those AI programs that I can start utilizing for some videos too. I want to look into one that's fairly cheap, because I know in order to use it on your computer video or on your YouTube or something like that, you're gonna have to be paying for that subscription. So I gotta find one that's not gonna break the bank, that I might be able to afford, because I'd like to do a few grumpy ones. A little more wrap around. Right there. That was awesome. I saw that. That was pretty cool. The eagle one you did. So that's what I'm gonna look into doing if I can ever get. I was talking about it earlier, but I squirreled off of it. But if I can get this set up and get Grumpy running to where I'm not struggling to keep up with my videos or anything like that. I have a good rhythm going. I want to play with my music. I've seen a few YouTube channels where that's all they are, is just the music that they create, and they upload those songs or whatever, and run that. But then they have an animated background or a scene or something for that song or something like that. So yeah, I figured the AI video stuff would work good on a channel base like that. And then I'm already there with the music. I pay for my music and have all the rights for that. And so trying to get them wheels spinning on ways Grumpy could get him some money coming in. And I know I could turn around and sell that stuff on Spotify if people wanted to buy that music. You know, that's just it. I wouldn't want to put a whole bunch of time and stuff into it and it not do anything. There's all kind of stuff out there nowadays. There we go. I had to wrap that up. It kept wanting to pull against my finger. Alright. Yeah, see that? I don't like that. It's tight, but so where'd that stick go? There we go. And then if you got any like looks like you can see like a single thread not staying in the wrap, you can take and try to push it down real good before you put your glue on there. Make everything look better. There we go. Now when I glue that one, that won't look bad. Alright. We have one more to twist up for the sticks. You can... Yeah, I gotta go back and look at some of them AI apps. I know with the music with the Suno, that one there. Now I don't know about an Apple phone if they have it for Apple base or whatnot, but I know for the Android phone, you don't you don't get all the you don't get all the bells and whistles on your phone. You get more access to customize it a lot better and do your prompts and stuff like that a lot better off the computer. Shroom, shroom for music. Shroom. Okay. So that's what pushed me to the Suno was when I first started doing the videos. I was using YouTube's free music and stuff like that, and I would sit there and go through their little library, you know, forever trying to find the song that I thought just had the right vibe or whatever. And I'd put it in the videos, do all my editing and whatnot, and then I'd go to upload it or whatever, and they'd tell me that I had one that was copyright striking if I can't. I was like, oh man. Then I did that too many times, and then yeah, see Suno. All right, now, Kat, have you ever used it on a computer to see if it has any different options? I know when I use Suno on my Android, and then use it on my computer, there's a lot more customization and stuff I can do through fine tuning the songs, the styles, the personas, all that kind of stuff on the computer versus the phone. I won't use it on my phone no more. I have it downloaded to my phone where I can open it and play the songs off my phone, but I don't create the songs on my phone anymore. I said it's just I can do it so much better off the computer. And the Apple, you know, the iPhones, they might be a lot better. You might have a better setup on there than what I do for the Android. random. What are you talking about? If you don't put all the information in your description, it'll copyright you. Are you talking about like what program or whatever you use to make it? Like if I did my music or something, I'd have to put in there I use Suno to make my songs or something like that. Is that what you're talking about? Yeah, you should be able to get it on Chromebook because it's you're not really downloading anything on your computer. When you run it off the computer, it runs through the browser. And I use Google Chrome and everything on my browser, so Chromebook you should be able to use it. I would try it. I would look at it and see because it might give you more options. It really surprised me the lack of options that I got on my phone versus the computer. And I could understand if it was like the free version, but even the pro version, paid for version or something through the phone did not have near the stuff the computer did. Ooh. But yeah, I love it. I love play. As I said, I spend more time trying to make my songs because I'll make my clip videos the way I got them run down. I try to get them to maybe 30 minutes or less, and then the length part of my clip videos, that's all 10 times the speed, so it's only actually about, that's the shortest part of my video. So yeah, I think I could get maybe 3 whole songs in that part, and then it gets to me talking and I turn the volume down on it. So I try to make about 6 songs for every video I do. And then so sitting there making those songs, you with Suno, you have to listen to that whole daggum song. You can't sit there and listen to the first 3 or 4 bars of, oh yeah, I like that, I'm going to use that one, because the very end of the song, it might be speaking just straight gibberish for 3 or 4 verses, and then some of them, different ways to click it, like the different versions and styles of the writing and all, will give the lyrics a little more that ain't grabbing good, a little more explicit or whatever I'm trying to say, that gets a little, let's see, not YouTube friendly or whatever, or something. You have to watch, some of the lyrics will get a little rough. But yeah, I love it. But I spend, like I said, I spend most of my time tuning up, because when you make those songs, one song on the Suno, when you go through the prompts and put it out, it spits you out. See, you feed it in your prompts, or however, like if you're feeding in a prompt to make it, when you do that, it gives you 2 versions of that prompt. Then when you choose one of those versions, it makes you 2 versions of that song. So then you have to sit there and listen to both versions, and then that's where it gets me, because I'll sit there and feed in my prompts, and I'll make both sides of the prompt, so I end up with 4 songs, and then I'll do that 4 or 5 times while each song is making, and I'll end up with 10 or 12 songs up there. Next thing you know, I kick back and start listening to it, and I've jammed out all night. I'm supposed to be making a daggum video. Squirrel, Grumpy Squirrel is very easy. But like I said, I love it. It was awesome. And I said, once I found it, I was like, oh, I got to have this for my videos. And so I started doing my homework on it. And because people were saying, oh, you're going to get copyright strike. Oh, even though, AI, they're going to get you. They're going to get you. And so I started emailing the company. I was like, look, if I'm paying for your services, can I use this for monetization? And I'm not monetized, but I was just like looking at it for future use. Will this go against me? And they're like, oh, no, if you're paying for it, it's yours. You can use it any way you want to, monetize, commercials, anyway, as long as you're paying for the service. And I said, okay, well, what if I quit paying for the service? Will my videos get struck in? And they said, no. If you were paying for it when you made the songs, they're yours to use, even if you quit paying for it. They said just keep your invoices and all that. So I kept all my invoices for every month when I pay for it. Plus, I kept all those emails from them telling me that it was all mine, that I could do this and do that just to cover my butt in the future. But yeah, I love the stuff. I love Suno. They need to sponsor my videos. Dadgummit, I dang sure give them a shout out every video I made. And then it's just fun. I mean, you can make a daggum song for anything. Go to the store, find a Rotten Tomato grocery shop, and you can make a song, Rotten Tomatoes, and it'd be funny as heck, and people be jamming to it. Alright, there's a little piece. There we go. And then I need to start paying for my video editor so I can get all the bells and whistles with that. I still use the free version of CapCut. Oh, okay. I got you. When you download a free song, you got to give give credit where the song came from and stuff like that. Basically, like, hey, I got this song from so and so, and they say da, 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 da. Go check them out. Download here and there. Give them a little shout out for the song. See, I want to figure out how I can go about using my Suno, and say there's a up and coming new channel starting and they want 12 or 15 songs or something like that, you know, that are channel related or personalized or something like that. I want to figure out how I can go about doing that for somebody, you know, not making millions, but, you know, making a small service to where I could, you know, I could charge for that, you know, and then that person be able to use those songs and there not being no kind of backlash on their end of the video, you know, like if they went to upload it or something, you know, how do I go about doing that and then being sure that they can use that song with no issues, or those songs. Hey, good morning, Aim. But like Perry's made some songs for Knuckles. So he's made songs for a few people and sent to them, you know, and they use them in the videos. You know, I would like to be able to do that, but I also want to be able to be assured that that person won't get struck, you know, get a copyright strike or something for that. CapCut's not, I mean, it's overwhelming when you get in there. There's a lot of buttons and tabs and stuff that you can do and use, but at the same time, it's it's not super simple, but it's not like DaVinci Resolve. DaVinci Resolve, that daggum app, that just, I dang near went to hyperventilate and it uninstalled that dang thing from the computer. There was so much in that. I got lost just looking at it, you know, but CapCut is a little more user friendly. Was it Clipchamp's not too bad on the computer, but I hate the way that Clipchamp makes you save your work and everything like that. I don't like that. I want a copy of all my work. You know, that's like all my videos. I export them. I edit them through CapCut, export them back to my computer, to my desktop, and I got them in a folder there. I turn around and upload them from that folder to YouTube, and so they go to YouTube, but they also stay on my computer. And so I turn around once I'm done with the video there and got it uploaded and it all came out okay. I'll move that copy off the computer into another folder and take it off of my computer into an external hard drive. Because I've just like Jordy Johnson got hacked a while back and lost all his videos and stuff for a while, and YouTube had everything, and then he couldn't get into none of his stuff and all that. He had to prove who he was and all this mess. Well, if they hack and get my channel, at least I still have all my content. Yeah, so yeah, I got to keep it like that. And then, like I said, when I started doing Clip Champ and realized how they worked, it's like, oh man, I got used to doing that, and so I understood it a little bit, and so when I went to CapCut, it worked kind of similar to Clip Champ, and so I was able to move over to that and keep doing. Now CapCut's giving me some issues here lately. I had to switch computers because of that Windows 10, Windows 11 mess, and right before I did that, half of my free stuff on CapCut wasn't coming up. It's like it wouldn't load. And then I'd go to use it because I knew what it was, and it would just spin and buffer and then tell me network error. I had to download a VPN and load up a VPN and run through that a few times. And as soon as I loaded the VPN, everything loaded up. All the free stuff showed up. All my favorites showed up. And it was weird because the VPN was still logging me in the US, just not in my area. So I don't understand that. But now it's working normal. I don't have to mess with the VPN. And it loads up. Alright, y'all. This is the hard part. Unwrapping this, keeping the tension, not dropping nothing. And I know I need a pencil. Oh. Oh, I would appreciate the likes. Probably boring everybody to death on this part. This is not as interesting as spinning that lathe. I'm not gonna lie, I started running that lathe on my lives. Well, I say it this way. I about run off the end of the stick right there. We're gonna definitely have to get that glued. I had like 212, 213-ish, something like that. I wasn't over 220 on the subscribers. When I started doing my lives, I have jumped up in my subscriber count a little bit. Dang near 100 subscribers. I'm gonna try. I'm going in early. I'm going to set up early for it and see how it goes. See how my anxiety works out, how my back and all handles and whatnot. Got some little dinky camping chairs, lounge chairs, outside chairs, whatever you want to call them. So I have to see how that works. And they're not your good comfortable ones. They're just cheap dinky ones. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff I'm going to, like, if everything goes good tomorrow and I get me a good bit of sales, I'm going to read the terms and conditions for CapCut. I ain't reading that stuff anyway. I start reading all that crap, I won't use nothing. That's like, look at that, y'all. I done messed with that. That thread has slipped off the end right there. I wrapped it too tight, too close to the edge. I wasn't paying attention. I was babbling more. Poo-poo. We got to fix that. How would Bones say? Dookie. I love it when Bones, are you in here? I hope you heard that. I love that. We was in one of your lives and somebody said we got to make a list of catchphrases for Bones. And yes, sir. You be doing something. Dookie. I love it. But yeah, this was a dookie moment. I got it. There's quality control, y'all. I'm not gonna let it go if I don't like it. Alright, y'all. I think I have been babbling long enough. Thank y'all for putting up with my craziness. I know a lot of it's my nerves. I'm a nervous wreck for tomorrow. But I'm definitely going to have all my stuff charged up. I got a little power brick charged up for when my phone wants to die on me. And we got to redo that one. But yeah, definitely going to get set up. I got some things I got to go pick up today. I got to go get some little sticky price tags so I can tag some of my work. Like I said, all my carvings, I'm iffy on the price to put on my carvings. I think I'm gonna mark it all at 30 bucks. They're all, you know, small pieces, but they're detailed pieces, you know, so I think $30 is not too bad. But I live in a little old broke town, so I think I'm gonna scare a lot of people with the $30 on that. But I'm gonna mark my carvings at 30. My boards, I think I'm gonna leave them at 20, and then all my clips at 20, stuff like that. But yeah, thank y'all so much for putting up with my babble and watching this morning, and thank you all for the good luck wishes. I greatly appreciate it, and I'm gonna shoot some live, so hopefully some of y'all can pop in and say hey and join me. But let me give y'all some seasick motion sickness here. Flip around. That's what we got curing and stuff. I gotta glue those. I'm gonna rewrap this one. I still gotta polish and round off the bottom and sand the bottom of a few of those. But all right, y'all, thank you so much for putting up with my babble. Y'all have an awesome day, and everybody stay blessed. Thank you so much.